Hi, I'm Jeetu, and I'm going to rant about my disappointment about with technology, especially in my country, and I'm gonna put this out there in hopes that maybe somebody resonates with this and wants to like join my tribe. I think I named the title of this video as "Finding My Tribe." So basically, let me pull this down. So basically, my issue is that I grew up watching Dexter's Laboratory, Discovery Channel. I've watched more documentaries in my life than movies. So I'm kind of a nerd. I like this nerdy stuff. I grew up watching that. I imbibed it. I thought we are gonna live in a world which is like Peter Thiel says, we were promised flying cars, but we got 140 characters on Twitter. So that's basically the gist of my rant today. Um, and the thing that is most frustrating is I live in a country with 1.4 billion people, and most of us, there's a high, um, like number of engineers in my country, India, and if there is a reason why we call people as human resource, because it is the most valuable natural resource there is on the planet. And in fact, that is the only natural resource that can assign value to other natural resources. We can assign value to gold, platinum, things like that. And a human resource, a highly refined human resource or a human being, can create values of upward of $2 trillion. Like take Jeff Bezos, for example. He was able to create Amazon, which is worth what, I don't know, 1 2 3 trillion dollars. Elon Musk, $4 trillion. Steve Jobs, $2 trillion worth of Apple. So a single person can create that amount of value if it is utilized well. And China used to be the biggest country on in terms of population, and they were able to capitalize their human resource and turn it into a shit ton of wealth. That isn't going to happen in this country. So one of the reasons is it's not going to happen, I fear, is because um, there is a lot of there are a lot of people, mm, but it's not refined. Raw human resource in its raw form is only useful for hard labor. You can do labor with them, but if you refine in terms of human resource, means education, some basic understanding about how to build things, and a culture that promotes it, a workaholic, or even a decent work ethic culture, that would suffice. Uh, which I think there are a lot of issues, okay, but I'm going to focus mainly on one specific issue, which is, um, if you if you look at the diaspora of Indians across the planet, not just in India. I can understand, there are no like billion-dollar unicorns, tech unicorns in India, like truly innovative tech unicorns in India. Now, don't say Infosys is one of them, because Infosys is a tech company, but it is not an innovative company by any standard whatsoever. It's a glorified BPO. Okay, let's be honest about that. So, and you can make the argument that we don't have the money or whatever, you can say it, but what about Indians in USA? Even there's not a single Indian anywhere on the planet who has created a deep tech company. Like, I'm not aware of that. If you know, let me know in the comments. But for some reason, it hasn't happened yet. Like, I don't know of a single Indian company that is deep tech that has been created by an Indian. And I think there are two reasons I think for that. One is it could be genetic. you know Maybe we are genetically predisposed to not be explorers. I mean, Mount Everest was always here, but some guy from a foreign nation had to come here to climb that for the first time. We always had the mountain, we just never decided to climb it, never decided to explore it. So it could be genetic, or it could be cultural. And I hope it is cultural, because that's fixable. So if it is culture, and I hope it is, I think it is, I believe it is. Um, so how do you exactly go about fixing this issue? Well, I think I have a solution. I think you know the first step obviously is you need a cultural leader or somebody who can influence the masses, not the entire country. Obviously it's not going to happen. I don't think you can influence an entire country to be innovative or think in a certain way, but all you need is a small minority of active people who think in this direction, who want to act in this direction, because um, a small minority will always win over a larger majority, as long as the small minority is intolerant and the larger majority is slightly tolerant. Case in point would be, take US versus Vietnam. Vietnamese are small, like, like in population wise, they're small, they don't have much resources, but they still won. Because why? The United States was not willing to drop thermonuclear bombs in Vietnam. They were tolerant, not out of goodwill, but they just didn't want to use their weapons. So the small country was able to defend itself. The same goes for Afghanistan and US. So if you're a small minority of people who think a certain way, you can twist the majority as long as you are aggressive and intolerant. That is the basis of my argument. So you don't need the entire country to rally behind this. You just need a small, teeny tiny, active, aggressive, intolerant minority. So let's come back to technology. So how do we exactly? What is the first step in this? In my opinion, I think if it is a cultural issue, that the reason why India, and not just India, like there are many other countries who do not have this innovative culture, I think is because we don't have even a minority of people, even a small minority of people that want to innovate, or want to take that kind of risk. Because I don't blame people who make me too kind of products where it's just um, a regular business. Or like take Infosys for example. What is it doing basically? It's just a BPO basically. They don't want to take any risk. They don't want to do deep tech. They don't want to, that their R&D budget is 0.62%. That's not a technology company. That's just an engineering company. You can say that, but it's not a deep tech company. They don't spend any money on R&D at all. So I don't blame people for that, but I think there has to be some awareness about this issue, and at least a small minority should rally around this point. So that is what I think should be the first step in solving this problem. I could be wrong. Okay, maybe I will change my mind 10 years from now, but I'm just putting it out there. I think that the first step would be awareness and consideration, to rally a small minority group of people around this community of true deep tech innovation, rather than building a product that already exists in some other part of the world, like copycat products. um, yeah. So once we have that small minority, we can then move on to like other steps. We can build capital infrastructure, technology infrastructure, and basically create an incubation environment for massive failure. Because in order to build deep tech with truly innovative products, it comes at a heavy price. The like R&D is not cheap. 99% of the things that you try is all wrong, and there is a reason why people don't want to do that. I don't blame the people who want to play it safe. There's a reason why they're doing it, obviously. And I'm not saying the nation should risk its entire net worth on crazy stuff. I get it, but at least 1% should be dedicated for things like this. So once we have a community built around this, once we have a small minority that thinks this way, that has a cultural shift, we can build helpful infrastructure. Like we can have a capital, like a venture fund or something like that, and connections. We can have a community of I hate to use the word entrepreneur for this, but a community of engineers that uh, think like this, that want to take that kind of risk for developing deep, truly innovative technology. And then, if nobody is willing to try, even after all this awareness and consideration, and building an ecosystem for true innovation, um, you know, I'll give it a try. Or we'll find somebody who wants to do this. And if nobody signs up for this, I'll give it a try. So that's my pitch, basically. That's my rant. And I maybe the solution that I proposed might work. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. There's always a chance that whatever I propose now would get refined 10 years from now. So maybe the plan might change. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there so that if you resonate with this, let me know you exist, because I think I'm the only one who thinks like this. I haven't met other people. Everyone who I meet is happy settling down with a job or a Me Too kind of a product. I've never met actually anyone who, especially in my community, in my country, that thinks like this. So if there are people like you, if there are people like me who resonate with this, do let me know. You know, let me know you exist in the comments. And I don't know where this will go. I cannot promise you anything. I cannot guarantee you anything. Maybe I'll fold. Maybe I'll chicken out. I don't know that. I hope I don't. I do have a screw loose in my head to try these kind of things. I am not as risk averse as most of the people I interact with. So let me know what you think. I'll end the stream here. I'll see you in another video. Bye.